We are here today to talk about the book, Bringing Down the House, the inside story of 6 MIT students who took Vegas for millions by Ben Mezrich.
Indeed we are. The novel was published by Free Press Publishers and was copyrighted in 2002. There are 257 total pages in the book, and the last 6 pages are an essay by the main character. I would personally recommend this book to everyone ages about 12 and up.
Let's talk a little bit about Ben Mezrich. Ben graduated with honors from Harvard in 1991 and since then has published 6 novels. Those 6 novels have a combined printing of more than 1 million copies in 9 languages. Mezrich wrote 2 books called Skeptic and The Carrier under the pseudonym Holden Scott. Ben's writing strategies are to entice the reader and surprise the reader in most of his novels. The purpose of writing this book was to tell the life of Jeffrey Ma, the real Vegas card counter.
Out of his 12 books, Bringing Down the House was his 7th and his most recent is called Sex on the Moon, the amazing story behind the most audacious heist in history. The book we are discussing is a non-fiction adventure-type thriller.
So, Tucker, describe the plot of Bringing Down the House.
Of course. Well, the book's main character is Kevin Lewis, who's an MIT graduate who was invited to join the secretive MIT blackjack team in 1993. The story's main setting was in Boston. Kevin's luxurious apartment is also in Boston, and so was the remarkable campus of MIT. Inside MIT was the eerie room in which Kevin and his team learned and played blackjack. Lewis was enlisted by 2 of the uppermost players, Jason Fisher and Andre Martinez. The mysterious team was financed by a sinister man named Mickey Rosa, who had organized at least one other team to play in the Vegas Strip out of MIT. This new team was the most lucrative yet. The 3 rounded up a few more players and traveled hackneyed each weekend from Vegas to Boston to play blackjack. The blackjack team was made to count cards and make a lot of money in Vegas, and the team did that pretty well. Tell the audience about the main characters, would ya?
Well, the main character is a genius Asian college kid named Kevin Lewis who learns to play and win at the game of blackjack and lives this lucrative life for years. 2 other main characters are Jason Fisher and Andre Martinez, who are the 2 college dropouts leaders of the team who recruited Kevin. Also, this team goes to Vegas each weekend with different aliases, and they must keep in character while roaming the casinos. The blackjack team is successful and profitable because of the style that they play, where they have some of them as spotters who wait at the table and count the cards until they see if there can be a high count. A high count is when the next round of cards that come out of the deck will give the players a larger chance of achieving blackjack, 21, and winning. The people that come in when there is a high count are called the high rollers or gorillas.
Very informative, Alex. This novel discusses the different positions and even the way they count cards very precisely, so even someone who knows the basics of blackjack or doesn't even know the game at all can understand. So, Alex, did you enjoy the book? Did you find it boring or entertaining?
I enjoyed the book very much. I felt that the author left the reader in such suspense that at some points I could not set the book down. I enjoyed reading about counting cards and how the characters each counted cards. Did you enjoy the book, Tucker? Also, did you feel that there were many cliffhangers or plot twists that future readers should be aware of?
I happened to enjoy the book because, each chapter there was a new event that was very meaningful to the development of the plot. In other words, I kept wanting to read more and find out what would happen next. Also, at the end of each chapter, there's usually a cliffhanger that tends to foreshadow what will happen next. There's also a major shake-up in plot when Fisher takes over the team for good. What messages do you think the author was trying to send?
Well, I think that the author was trying to tell the complete story of Kevin Lewis's life as a card counter. The book is non-fiction, as many of the events have actually happened. The main character's actual name is Jeff Ma. The author was trying to tell the reader that even though card counting wasn't breaking any laws, it could get people very much in trouble. I think the author was warning the readers about not performing the actions that took place in the book, by telling the readers in which card counters encountered numerous issues.
That's very interesting, but I happen to disagree. I actually think that the message he was trying to send was how crazy card counting could be, and how crazy a lifestyle a professional card counter has to live. Ben Mezrich also outlines the basic principles of card counting and the risks and rewards involved with this crazy business.
Yes, I do agree with that. That is also very true. What were some of the themes that you noticed in the book, Tucker?
Well, I noticed that the major theme of this book is the process used by blackjack teams to beat the odds while gambling at major casinos. The book recommends numerous technical methods in which to count the cards, but a central theme of gaming the game is discovered by knowing that Vegas blackjack can be mastered through a combination of skill, acting, attitude, disguise, luck, and teamwork.
I very much agree, and also like to point out that that another ongoing theme in the book is that there are always ways to get around an obstacle. For example, when the team was caught counting cards, they began to wear disguises and prosthetics to keep on counting, making money. Have you read any other books by Ben Mezrich, Tucker?
I have not. This is my first one, and after feeling the suspense in each chapter, I feel like I would like to read it some more.
Do you have a favorite passage in the novel, Tucker?
I do. It's on page 27, where Kevin first learns how to count cards in Atlantic City with Martinez and Fisher. I enjoy the passage especially because I feel it's right where the book, takes off, and Kevin begins to start his double life. Here it is. Here we go. He moved a black chip onto the betting circle in front of him. He would have liked to have started lower, but the table minimum was 100. He noticed that Martinez had started with 2 chips. His friend seemed completely calm, smiling as he made a small talk with the dealer. After the first few hands, Kevin's nerves settled and he began to enjoy the highs and lows of gambling.
I too like that passage a lot, Tucker. Before, when we were discussing the themes, I feel that the beginning of Kevin's card counting career is important for future readers to know about. It gives future readers a starting point in Kevin's gambling life that is essential to know how well and quick Kevin developed his skills. Did you think the story was realistic?
Yeah, I thought it was realistic. It was non-fiction, actually. I thought that Ben Mezrich really brought Kevin Lewis's Jeff Ma's life to the novel. He used Jeff's actions to give Kevin a very intriguing life, which made the novel very realistic. It's almost like he put Jeff's whole story into Kevin's life, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So are you glad that you took the time to read this book? And do you think it was a quick read?
I am glad that I took the time to read this book. It was interesting and fun to read. I also thought that it was a quick read because the novel was suspenseful, in which I had trouble putting the book down. How would you rate the book on a scale of 1 to 10, and why?
I would give it an 8 because I thoroughly enjoy action-adventure novels, and, I mean, this was a real page-turner. Like you previously said, the plot was always kept changing, and each chapter there was a new thing to read about. So it was very suspenseful. I thought it was a good read. Who might enjoy this type of book, Alex?
I believe that people who enjoy adventure books and card games would enjoy this book. The book was made into a movie called 21, which most people have seen, featuring Kevin Spacey. People who have seen and enjoyed this movie would also enjoy the book because there are unique differences and additions in the novel than in the movie. Alright, I think it's time that we wrap up this book talk.
Until next time, thank you. Any questions, class? We'll see you next week.